to iLearn's Galleries, Libraries, Archives, and Museums Panel Session 1, A Journey into NFT Space, a new chapter in the future of art history. I'm going to introduce Wendy Sherman.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. I want to thank everybody at iLearn and also shout out to XR Women, because without them, I would not be here. I appreciate everybody. Thank you. And thank you for everybody. And thank you, Jonathan, because I wouldn't be here without Jonathan. And thanks to for everybody for being here. And thank you to all my panelists. I do have one announcement that unfortunately Asya could not be here today. She had a work emergency, so I apologize for that. But we do have our other three wonderful panelists, Diane, Trudy, and Micol, who will give us a wonderful talk about a journey into the NFT space, a new chapter in the future of art history. So I'm just wondering who in the audience knows what an NFT is, who is familiar with NFTs. Maybe raise your hand. I've got 1, 2, 3. Okay. 4. Hey, 5. There we go. Okay. So we got a few people. So Micol is gonna give us an introduction on what an NFT is and what they're used for, and then Diane will expand more about art and NFTs and how artists will use NFTs, and then Trudy is an NFT artist, and so she's going to talk about a little bit more about that. And also I want to announce that we have a special iLearn NFT that we created especially for this event, and it is on sale at Heket Nunk. And I will put the link in the chat. Oops, sorry. I will do that a little bit later once we get started with the talk. So before I get too caught up here, I'm going to introduce you to Micol. So I will hand it over to Micol.
Hi, can you hear me? Maybe raising hands if you can hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great, perfect.
Where are you, Micol?
I'm just behind you, Wendy.
Okay.
I need to come further?
Okay. So
okay.
You can control the screen, correct?
Can I control the screen?
Or actually, I can just advance it. Just let me.
Oh, no, yeah. I can do it. Okay, perfect. So hey, nice to meet you. My name is Micol. I'm the founder of Vertical Crypto Art, which is a media outlet and hub dedicated to NFTs, crypto art, and crypto media. The purpose of Vertical Crypto Art was kind of born last year, I guess more than a year ago, to document what I was finding out about the NFT ecosystem, really. It developed into being a full-on media hub where I host weekly, actually almost daily live interviews with artists. We work as curators for different types of platforms, and as well creating like video content and supporting projects and galleries within the NFT ecosystem. Let me so I don't think I can move on to the next slide. I'm not sure if you.
Okay. No.
So these are like a couple of examples of the sort of curatorial like videos and video content that we do on Vertical Crypto Art. We collaborate with different platforms such as Rarible, which is an open marketplace for NFTs, Known Origin, which is a curated marketplace for NFTs, so under application only, and Hiket Nunc, which is an open marketplace running on the Tezos blockchain. Obviously, curation is, I guess, takes a different form in the NFT ecosystem. It's showcasing digital assets. Therefore, I've tried to be as creative as possible in showcasing the different artists, and really worked throughout this time in especially kind of making sure that artists who are maybe smaller, less well known, or not on the kind of top sales charts are also recognized and have their space and their time. And this has been, I guess, a goal of vertical crypto art in general throughout the time that the Media Hub has been open. You can go to the next slide. We also work specifically with artists around doing both artist spotlights, which are basically short form content where we highlight the artist's career, what have they been doing in the space, or even in their traditional art career too, as well as work on specific curated content for releases. So these can be in the form of weekly interviews, or can be in the form of short form content where we actually talk about specific artworks and go a bit deeper into the creation process, the inspiration, etc. Oh, thanks. You can go to the next slide. Yeah, so I guess a bit of an introduction of what are, I guess, NFTs. What's the difference between fungible versus non-fungible? So most of you have raised their hand in knowing what an NFT is, so I'll go pretty quickly on this. But non-fungible tokens are essentially a digital representation of scarce assets. They are unique in nature, and they vary with properties that can be distinguished from each other. So CryptoKitties, which was created in 2017 and was one of the earliest projects created on the blockchain, even if it wasn't the first, it was one of the first, is an example of an NFT use case. It is a game, it is on the Ethereum blockchain, and players can collect and breed digital cats, which they pay for in ETH. Each cat's digital is a digital asset. It is unique, and it's stored on the blockchain. Non-fungible tokens can be used in decentralized applications, so they can be used as collectibles, they can be used in gamings, they can be used for art, as crypto art is. But they can also represent any certificate of any kind. So like driver's license, educational certificates, leaseholds, and the more the merrier, really. The possibilities are extremely wide. Non-fungible tokens are, in fact, the enablement and the representation of the tokenization of all types of assets. So this can be digital or real. Essentially, they allow for any unique investment to be tied to a physical object, like a unique artwork, like real estate, or any other, let's say, real world asset and securities. Essentially, the difference between fungible and non-fungible, and as you can see in the graph on your left, it's dollar, coins are fungible, Bitcoin is fungible, ETH is fungible, whilst CryptoKitties, art, house properties are all non-fungible. You can move on to the next slide. Thank you, Wendy. This is a general, very general kind of picture of what the, or some of the NFT marketplaces that are currently available. The ones that you can see on your left are Ethereum based, therefore they run on the Ethereum blockchain. OpenSea and Rarible are both open marketplaces and open platforms, therefore anyone can essentially mint, tokenize, create an NFT on these platforms. Whilst known origin, Nifty Gateway, Super Rare, Async Art, and Foundation, along with many others, but let's say these are the most well-known, are all curated, or let's say gate-kept platforms. Essentially, you have to apply as an artist. The team behind these platforms will review your application and will then decide whether to accept or not. All of these platforms work, as I mentioned, on the Ethereum blockchain. Their let's say properties are different. So, for example, Super Rare will work on a single edition. So all of the artwork that is tokenized on Super Rare is a one-on-one, whilst the rest of the platforms are actually working with multiple editions of artworks. Async Art as a platform is actually probably the most unique out of all of them, as it works with programmable art, which means that the artwork can change and it's layered against each other. So you can essentially create different layers to your master artwork, which change according to who owns the layers. In terms of alternative blockchains, oh no, if you can go back. In terms of alternative blockchains, there's a few that have actually popped up, especially in the last couple of months, and especially around the movement of clean NFTs and the shift of a lot of artists from proof of work to proof of stake. Proof of stake is a more environmentally friendly and conscious blockchain, which doesn't utilize mining as such as Ethereum and blockchain. One of the blockchains that is most commonly used at the moment is Tezos, and the biggest platform that currently runs on Tezos is Hiketnunk. A few others are Calamint, which also runs on the Tezos blockchain, as well as Flow, which runs on the Flow blockchain, and Polkadot and Polygon, which are an alternative blockchain too. You can move on to the next slide. As I mentioned before, what are NFTs used for? They can be used for a variety of different things. The most commonly use cases that we're seeing at the moment is for sure art, as well as collectibles. The image that you can see under art is Cube by Pack. The collectibles are the CryptoPunks, which are probably I'm sure many of you know what they are, but it's a collectible project, one of the most well-known in the blockchain at the moment. They're also used for gaming. Sandbox is one of the most common, I guess, virtual gaming platforms at the moment in the blockchain, as well as music, fashion. So, for example, Artifact Studios are a well-known fashion brand within the NFT ecosystem, and also domains. So you can actually buy your own domain, whether it's on Ethereum or Tezos. The use cases are many. These are, I guess, some of the most common and widely used at the moment. But as I mentioned before, the term NFT, non-fungible token, is essentially a medium enabled by the blockchain. So you can tokenize and use NFTs for anything realistically. And I think that's me.
Thank you, Micol. That was awesome. Did you want to talk a little bit about the hackathon or not? And Hiketnunk or?
I mean, we can. I think both me and Diane can talk about it. If what do we want to talk about exactly?
Or maybe we can wait till later at the end. How's that?
Yeah, sure.
So I guess I'll introduce Diane next.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, everyone.
Are you ready?
Yeah, totally. I couldn't hear your introduction. Were you introducing me?
Yeah, yeah. Diane, if you want to go ahead and
Okay, nice. So yeah, thanks, Wendy, for the invitation. So I am Deandre Bay. I'm French, based in Berlin. Really glad to be here virtually with all of you. I am the founder of We Are Museums, but I'm also a visual artist, and I will tell you more about these two. From a distance, I feel that people can think that my work as We Are Museums and my artistic practice can be quite different, but it is actually led by the same purpose and the same mission. So We Are Museums is it's a big community of museum professionals, and what I do for the past decade is that I basically with a great team, guide museums through transitions and through change, so they can become agents of change. And it is so much needed in our society. On the other side, my artistic expression is actually about recomposing futuristic landscapes. So I'll just wanted to tell you a little bit more about that, and maybe share a little bit more about how I see things and why I do what I do. And you see that it's full of purpose and meaning. I feel that the world we live in, and the world we find ourselves today, is constantly verging between dystopia and utopia. But basically, what is in front of us is not one or the other. What is in front of us is called change. And if we want this change not to destroy us humans, we should start understanding that we are only one element in a global ecosystem. And if we want to be part of tomorrow, we must start embracing that change as and will always be the only constant in life. We should start respecting our planet and the way it works, and thrive for the past 3.8 billion years. So yeah, in my professional life and in my artistic practice, I call for change, and I call for accepting this change. So I don't know, I need to turn myself. Okay, so feel free, Wendy, to jump from one side to another. So you will see, a little bit of what I do. That in my artistic.
Diane, I think somebody in the audience says they can't hear you. Maybe can you talk louder?
Can't hear me? Oh, sorry. What can I do? I'm actually speaking quite loud.
Yeah,
I know.
I tell them to turn up their headphones.
The what?
It's not you. It's not you. You were speaking fine. We can all hear you very well.
Okay, nice. So what I was saying, so just to talk quickly about my artistic practice, I call for embracing change. I call for contemplation and patience, for understanding what's around us and how it basically affects us on a daily basis. So I started by making videos, slow videos of recomposed landscapes, and in these videos, I was basically inviting the viewer on an emotional and sensorial journey. Now, I try to actually activate the same sense of time capsule through immersive 3D models or through photographies of futurist nature or futurist environments. So it is basically what you can see, here on the screen. So this is an NFT that I dropped on Hiketnung. And yeah, I just wanted to tell you a little bit more about Hikatnunk. Micol introduced it. And it is actually the only space that I know as in the NFT space. So yeah, I have to admit that I am a little bit biased. Also, I started my journey in the NFT space only 2 months ago, and so far, yeah, I can really say that it has been one of the best human experience that I lived. So thanks, Micol, for being part of it. So you might have understood it, but personally, I will not engage myself in a project or in a program or somewhere which is not purpose driven. So of course, I was very curious about the blockchain for the past years because I'm always looking for emerging models of innovation and how we can think and do things differently, and how we could, yeah, draft the future of our society, basically. But I feel that it was always too exclusive, it was not open, and it was always too money driven, basically. So when I started to hear about Hikatnunk, everything's changed. Yeah, you have to know that these very heavy and exclusive doors that most of the artists have to push to enter other kind of marketplaces, they don't exist on Hikatnunk, and Micol explained it very well. There is no application form to fill up. There is no jury here to select you, no expenses fee to mint an NFT, no huge commission either. And the best is that the gas fee is very low. And actually minting an object on Hikatnunk has the same carbon footprint as sending a tweet. So it's quite low compared to what you can find on Ethereum. And why I started to really love this platform is not just about the technology and the Tezos blockchain, but it's also because, and this was really a surprise, but it is totally community led. There you actually see artists helping each other, supporting each other, sharing advice, starting collaborations, and they even buy your art. You know, like when you're an artist on Hikatnunk, you become an art collector very fast. And I can tell you that it's super addictive. But yeah, there it's you know, it's this kind of utopia. But as I said, there is no utopia or dystopia, it's just change. And I can feel this vibrant change on this community. It's not about competition, it's not about selling for the higher price. It is just about collaboration and decentralized models. So yeah, I feel that the NFT space begins to look like a new cultural movement. In this space, both emerging and famous artists can be found at the same level. Storytelling and the human behind the artwork are very much valued, much more than the financial value on the market. And for once, because in the physical space, in the art market is very different, but for once, the secondary market benefits the artist as much as the collectors, and that's fabulous. Yeah, so that's basically what I wanted to share with you today, just to give you a glimpse of yeah, this beautiful journey, and sharing a few of my artworks. And yeah, that's basically it. Wendy, do you have any question? Am I missing something here?
I don't know if you wanna. I guess we showed your 3D piece on the in the deck, but I don't know if you want to show it on the website, if we can get that website to work, or I don't know.
No, I think it's fine. If people want to check it, they can.
Yeah. I put the links in the chat, so I put
Super.
Yeah, so people can go play with it on Hikatnunk. So thank you for that, Diane, and I appreciate you being here. And I guess we will. I mean, I guess we'll have a Q&A at the end. By the way, I didn't mention that, so we'll want to find out more.
I actually realized that I totally forgot to give you examples of how NFTs could actually be used in the art market. So maybe we can talk about that later during the Q&A.
Yeah, let's do that, and then we'll let Trudy go, and then we'll do a Q&A, and we can talk more about that.
Nice.
So, thank you. So, thanks for your presentation. And where's Trudy?
I'm right here.
Okay.
Beside Micol.
So, Trudy Elmore, 3D digital artist. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Wendy. And Micol, great presentation. Diane, my God, so profound, so beautiful. Really enjoyed that. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yep.
Great.
All good.
Sorry, just let me know when you want me to advance the slides.
Okay. So as Wendy said, I am a digital artist and animator. My weapon of choice is 3D software. Before I came to the digital realm, I was studying drawing and painting at OCAD University in Toronto, when in my second year I was exposed to the work coming out of a design firm in Berlin called Zeitgeist. And it, like, the work was so impacting that I ran out and built a computer. Or not quite. I started to investigate, what am I looking at exactly? And this was in 2013. What am I looking at? Oh, I'm looking at software. Can I run it on my laptop? Can't run it on my laptop. And so I built a computer and started to study 3D software. And I had really generous and patient professors who, for my painting classes, allowed me to make the argument that this consists as painting, only I'm pushing pixels, as opposed to a wet medium. And so this piece up on the screen, when I first started to work digitally, I was making these like very heavy-handed, symbolically driven works that were relying heavily on representations taken from art history proper. Wendy, could you advance the slide? And if you can't tell, I'm working figuratively. And this series happened in my first year, couple of years of working digitally. This series is called Carrying Christina, and it's modeled after paintings of Jesus coming off the cross. Working figuratively, I'm always looking for gestures, poses, postures that are pregnant with meaning. Although this is often interpreted as sexual, but we bring what we want to the party. But this is what's interesting to me is the degree of tenderness that the unconscious body is being handled with. And I personally believe that all art, or true art, is autobiographical. And so, looking at this now, how many years later? This was created in 2016. 5 years later, I would say that's accurate. This marks a point in my life where I was about to really, really roll around and get dirty. Wendy, would you mind advancing the slide? Wendy? Oh, thank you. And yeah, as I was saying, autobiographical. I don't really know, I don't really know what to say about these pieces, but these are my NFTs, and they are featuring females clad in Star Wars accoutrement. I started this series in 2019, right before the pandemic popped off. At the time, I wasn't working in NFTs. I'm just getting a little bit lost here. So maybe I'll talk a bit about NFTs and then move through the slides. So the first time I heard non-fungible token was November 2020. And by the time January hit, I was invited to mint an NFT on or I beg your pardon, on Foundation. A good friend of mine who's big in the Hic et Nunc space, James Patterson, also known as PressTube, opened the gate for me, which was very kind. And so when I first started minting, my first couple of pieces I've minted, Wendy, can you scroll down? I don't know if they're here. So anyways, first couple pieces I minted on Foundation, and to my absolute glee and delight, sold overnight while I was sleeping. And so my first pieces I minted were, you know, animating figurative works, very simple animation. And then I started to mint this Star Wars series, which is really, it's really poppy, it's really campy, it's fun. We're in a pandemic, you know, doing things that are light and silly, but also human, are the things, are ways that I like to work. And so I started to mint this Star Wars series, and it was going really well. It was going really well until ETH, because I'm on Foundations, this is all being minted on the Ethereum blockchain. So when ETH really started to take off, then, you know, I think people were less motivated to spend, to drop, you know, $4,000 on a digital file. And this is sort of, you know, a wall that I've kept coming up against again and again and again in my practice as a digital artist. It's like, how do you sell your digital art? Most people are not down to hand you, you know, to e-transfer you money in return for a USB drive or a download link prior to NFTs coming on the scene. And so this has made that transaction easier, and it's installed a certain level of like faith or trust. Although there are some issues with NFTs. For me personally as an artist, you know, I've minted most of my work on Foundation. Well, if the platform Foundation disappears, and if all of the backup drives and cloud files are destroyed, what happens if a person who bought my art and there's no download drive or download link provided to on that NFT, like what happens? And so there's still some issues with minting art as NFTs, that digital art is always going to, or maybe not always, but right now still has. But I think it's a good alternative for me right now, as opposed to imposing scarcity on my practice through making prints, etc. Yeah, can you advance the slide? This is called, so this piece is called a Targetis Rising, which is one of the first names for the original mermaid, or like female goddess of the sea. And I had a friend who a couple of months ago did a dark retreat, which is fascinating. You go to a cave and you live in total complete darkness for 7 days. Somebody brings you your food and you're in isolation. And what was interesting to me was that his dreaming life became more vivid than his waking life. So he was living for his dream life, and in this dreamscape, this like very vibrant and vivid dreamscape, he was dreaming about these mermaids. And with any topic or idea or feeling, I'll lock onto something and just let it roll around in my mind, and wait until it feels right in my mouth and in my body, and start to arrange things in a way that is true to the expression I'm trying to make. And so I sat with this idea of plus size mermaids for a number of weeks, and then started to build these characters in 3D software. And This is an NFT that's being minted through the Sevens Grants Foundation. The show is called Empowered Women Empowering Women. It's being curated by Paris Hilton of all people. Such a strange epoch we're in, but so this is a Targetis Rising, and that's the origin of this piece. I thought it'd be worth explaining, get a kind of glimpse into my process. Can you keep going forward, Wendy? Oh.
Sorry, hang on. I'm having some technical difficulties here. There we go.
Also, if anybody has any questions or outbursts or objections, please feel free to jump in. I guess, I know I'm supposed to be looking at the audience, but I kind of like to see a bigger picture so I can vibe on it. But this series, or this composition, I've been working on for a number of weeks. It's not yet an NFT. I guess my other practice outside of art is I have a deep spiritual practice, and over the winter I really got into studying Western esotericism and different pagan practices and rituals, and just really got into that, to those studies. And so as a Western person, it's been really enriching and enlivening to study some of these more esoteric practices that hail from the regions of Europe that my ancestors are from. And so it's kind of been an interesting coming home. So not an NFT yet, but just something I wanted to share with the audience. I think it has a real power to it, and having like so many different female bodies in one space, different shapes, different approaches to form, while all like harnessing and generating a certain quality and power. All right, Wendy, next slide. And this is the last piece I minted on Foundation, Super Trooper 7. It's 2 stormtroopers and Darth trying to change a light bulb. This is really fun. These compositions have sort of like a Rockwellian quality to them, mixed in with like pinup aesthetic, and I just really enjoy making these series. This one's still for sale. After marking down my prices on Foundation when ETH was high, I don't know if that's like marked me or somehow made the work like less appealing or less sexy, or like the story of the value of my work as an NFT on Foundation has changed for that reason. I don't know. I really don't know, and that's okay. But when I was first confronted with this, going from selling everything to all of a sudden the sales slowing down, and it feeling like it felt like this was happening on some type of public stage. And especially with NFTs, you have to constantly be engaging yourself on social media. So you're always sort of just like, not fighting, but like constantly promoting, constantly shilling your works, and it just doesn't feel good. So this one's been sitting on Foundation for a month, and that is where it will stay forever. I have no desire to burn any NFT that doesn't sell, but this marked a turning point in my relationship to NFTs, because it's been such a roller coaster. All artists that implicated themselves in this over the past few months have gotten a crash course in economics, a crash course in branding, a crash course in so many different things. And it's been so intense, and things are up and things are down. And the way people are talking about their work online, and the cryptocurrency or the money associated with it has felt very vulgar to me. And there's a certain like push-pull that I have to deal with in interacting with this space. So Yeah, this is my final piece on foundation. And after which I will now be transitioning to different platforms for minting. And I'm pretty sure that's my last slide. Wendy, did you have anything else?
Yeah, this is, oh, sorry, this is just the website, which I have up on the other screen. Or no, this is your foundation website. Sorry. So we can chill. Go to foundation and buy Trudy's art. And then no, well, these are the ones that you have on Heck at Nook, since kind of plugging Heck at Nook, sort of.
Yeah.
We don't want to be biased, but we like Heck at Nook.
I mean, I would like to pump. What does it say? Okay, I'll move quickly. I'd like to pump Hick at Nook's tires. Like, they are fantastic. So I collaborated on these pieces with PressTube, James Patterson, and what was amazing for me was seeing the community engagement of artists online and it not feeling like this heavily promoting. Like, people are still shilling for sure. You know, people want to sell their work. They want to be involved. They want to, you know, have those transactions, but it was a super positive experience for me, and I love these pieces.
Yeah, let me advance. I love this next one too. Are these the same models that were in the other piece with the mermaids?
No, but I've been experimenting with more like non-normative bodies and asymmetries in like different shapes and sizes, and I've been really enjoying it. Like, there's a wisdom to that approach, and it starts to transcend the like CG asset mold a bit more.
Well, and these also had sound too. That's the other thing that we should mention is the collaboration with musicians and artists and what's going on with that, and NFTs. But I mean, you've been working with music all along. You've been doing a lot of music videos. Actually, that's a good segue to this. Was it from a music video, right?
Those that is from a VR exhibition when I first met you in LA in 2018. I was asked to make a VR piece, and so I based it on the song Funeral Home, which is about death, and overlaid on that are some very heavy-handed symbols for Memento Mori.
But I thought that was because it was like a 360 VR video, but I thought it was like a music video. You didn't do this for a band?
No, I didn't do it for a band.
Okay. It really played like a music video because it went. But anyway, I'm digressing. Let's get to the Q&A. Do you want to wrap it up, or are you wrapped up?
I'm all wrapped up.
Anyway, I put through this in because I love it so much. But yeah, this was a show we did in 2018, which was, we had like 30 XR artists. And this is when I met Trudy, and I was just blown away by her work back then. And it's still going doing amazing work.
Thanks, Wendy.
I got some links I'm going to put in the chat, but I can leave these up here if anybody wants to write them down. So I saw some questions here in the chat. If you guys want to put questions. Regina had a question. Is that for anybody in particular? Do you feel that movement would be important to express your visions? From Regina. That's for Trudy.
I really love animation, truly. I really do. And I think it's probably better for storytelling and for I don't know, the movement. There's something about movement that brings things alive. And so while some of my stuff is animated, others aren't. Would I like them all to be animated? Yes. And I'm working on ways of harnessing motion data so I can start feeding or channeling or like running my motion through these digital avatars so I can start really turning up more embodied in my practice.
One more from Regina. This is interesting. Is there a course on crypto art? That's a good question. Anybody? Diane?
Well, I don't know, but I think that Micol is actually working on that. And also to reply to what you said at the beginning of your speech, Trudy, you said that, yeah, you really need actually to promote yourself. You really need to use social media and things like that to actually exist in this NFT space. The work that Micol is doing is actually having the mission to highlight artists having no social media or no virtual community actually, and she's doing an amazing job at curating, highlighting the people, respecting the diversity, and making the space as inclusive as possible, while, as I said, the doors are very heavy in most of the platforms.
Here's one from Karen. Can you clarify? Wait, where'd it go? Can you clarify the relationship between where the works are created and where they live? It's actually a good Micol question, but and are you Karen? Are you talking specifically about the NFTs? I'm assuming.
Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay. That is a Micol question, but I mean, they live on a server, right?
Well, no, I actually think that, as I said, for instance, I'm doing these pieces for Hiketnung because it's a purpose-driven community, because I can actually say, if you buy this NFT, 10% is going to this foundation to preserve mountains or to preserve nature. Because of that, it is actually on Hiketnung, and what I start to see as well is that a lot of people are actually buying my 3D models, and they are currently creating some metaverse and some totally virtual universes with the orbs, these decorate planets floating around. So it is actually like when you actually mint an NFT, it is linked to my mind, it is linked to this purpose, but then everyone can actually use it as they want, and that's why it's so beautiful. It can exist in so many other places and spaces. Already happening, actually. I don't know, Trudy, have you seen some of your pieces exhibited virtually somewhere on the metaverse?
Yeah, I have. And then there's also, the NFTs, even though the life has been quite brief, only a matter of months, they've gotten some different traction. I'm in an NFT gallery on Venice Beach right now showing, and I've been in 2 different virtual galleries, which is pretty cool. But is the question related to like the actual file that's being stored, or like the hash that's being stored, like the information of that file and that of that NFT?
Karen, maybe can you expand your idea and your question?
Yeah, sure. So I guess what I'm wondering, that, clearly I don't completely understand NFTs, and so what I was hearing you say, Diane, was that you actually created work on the Hiketnung platform, and so
well, not really.
No, okay. I managed to understand it. Yeah.
No, I actually created these pieces on different, with using different tools, tools to create 3D models, different tools. But then I was creating the NFT on Hiketnunk. So I just dropped the NFT on the Tezos chain, and then the marketplace is called Hiketnunk. But Hiketnunk is just a marketplace where you can mint different kind of NFTs, yeah, different kind of tokens. Why I was also minting it there, it's because you can mint 3D models. You can mint so many different formats. That's why you can express yourself, having no walls and yeah, totally. It's a laboratory, you know, for creativity, I feel. Is it replying to your question, Karen?
That helps. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to take up all the Q&A time because I know there are other questions there. So yeah.
Yeah, Alex wanted to ask a question in person.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello, hi everyone. Thank you very much for the presentations and all the chat. My question was around what's next in the NFT space. We've seen all of that accelerate in the past, I guess, 6 months or so. We've seen a lot of fragmentation in the NFT marketplace. What do you think is the next couple of big things that are going to accelerate the adoption of NFTs in the next 6 months?
That's a tough one. Trudy, Wendy, do you have something to reply?
I know. I wish Micol was still here. Well, I know that I just recently saw. I'm blanking on which platform it was, but VR definitely is coming soon. Can't remember what platform that was, but there's definitely going to be VR NFTs. Right now, it's not really enough memory to handle VR, but that's definitely coming. And then I think, get ready for Ready Player One. I mean, there's going to be, fashion. You're going to be able to. I don't know if you've seen the movie Ready Player One, but when they're going shopping for accessories to bring into the virtual world, I mean, there's going to be accessories that you can bring into your video games. Clothes. I mean, fashion is huge right now. All the fashion companies are getting into this, so it's get ready for the metaverse is definitely happening.
What was your question exactly? Was it in terms of NFTs itself, or in terms of the market and mindsets? Can you precise a little bit more?
I guess it was quite a general question. It's whether what are going to be the factors that are going to accelerate the adoption of NFT. So when I speak to some of my friends, they just have no idea. At best, they might have heard of Beeple and these things, but not so much. I'm wondering if it's going to be a technological advance that's going to boost the adoption, or is it going to be big players like eBay or others coming in? And what do you see would be the big changes in the future? I know it's a tough question, indeed.
No, but now that you framed it a little bit more, I think big players are already actually in the game. When you see, the NBA, they are actually selling, collectibles like, I don't know how old you are, but when I was younger, people were actually collecting the small cards, and then you could actually see kids, sharing them and kind of selling them at school. Now they are actually, I just added it in the chat. You can actually buy the NFT of these kind of cards, and they are called collectibles. As Wendy said, fashion is huge. You can actually buy NFT bag from Gucci or Chanel. Virtual reality is already happening. I know that on Hiketnunk, people are already actually playing with that. So in terms of technology, I think it's no limits. In terms of accessibility and when it will become more spread and mass and reaching out to the mass. I think it's a question of months, because when you hear big names, big brands, as the one I just listed, you can smell that it is going to be big. I think the next step, though, is actually to buy and to get some credibility. For now, it's still a trend. It's still like something that everyone thinks that will be over in 6 months. But if you actually start to see museums, for instance, buying some NFTs, collecting some NFTs, if you start to see famous curators talking about it, if you start to see all these institutions which are actually celebrating the art and not the financial value, then I think we will start to see a shift. Talking about NFTs, art NFT, talking about the other NFT, like we said, Chanel, Gucci, and BA, I think this will explode very fast.
Okay, thank you very much.
I see Karen has mentioned here in the chat that she would like me to talk about walking through buying the iLearn token. Yeah, that was something that I wanted to put in the chat, and I did. It's kind of complicated. If you want to send me a message on Twitter, I will also be posting on all the social media platforms, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. So look out for my posts about how to purchase. I think I can put the link in the chat again for the, I think I put the link in there, but I'll put it again. And then also there's links on the up on the screen for like Hicketnook. But let me, and then so Hicketnook is on the Tezos platform, and that was, I don't know if I'm gonna get kicked off here. It's 10:01, but I was just gonna mention, and also I wanted to answer Jacob's question really quick about the future of galleries. I agree with what Diane is saying as far as credibility, but also I don't know if anybody heard about this new platform called One Of that's backed by Quincy Jones. It's going to be a huge commercial platform, not so much like a art gallery, but like a commercial outlet for NFTs. And it's gonna, he's, you know, they're gearing it towards like teenage girls, but it's gonna be an outlet for, you know, collectible NFTs and music, and it's gonna be on the Tezos platform, so that's kind of huge. I think people are moving away from Ethereum because it's too expensive. I mean, one Ethereum coin is like $2,500, and whereas it's called One Of. Put it in the chat here. One Of. I don't have the link to the website, but yeah, they just announced it. But it's just huge that it's going to be on the Tezos platform, because Tezos is like, right now it's about $3.50 for one coin. And it's also proof of stake, which is much better for the environment. Ethereum keeps talking about how they're going to switch over to proof of stake, but right now Ethereum uses like way too much energy. So, I mean, there's a lot of hurdles that we have to get through before we before it's Bitcoin is adopted by the masses, and I think that's probably the biggest hurdle get over, you know, to get more people to get on board with NFTs. But I think it's gonna happen. I'd say like within the next 5 years. Let me put the Hicketnook token in the chat here real quick before we leave. Hang on. All right, so I just put the link in the chat for the This is the official iLearn token. So if you want to purchase that token, it's 3 TES, so it's like approximately $11. And you will need to get a Tezos wallet, which is called a Temple wallet. And if you look at the links, there's a link here. I can put the link for the Temple wallet chat. And then you can purchase Tezos from Coinbase. There's a couple steps to it, but it's not that hard. Hopefully, I mean, I did mention when Micol did her presentation, the Hackathon. See, Hicket Nook is another thing I love about Hicket Nook is that it's kind of punk rock right now. It's kind of the Wild West because there isn't really anybody running Hicket Nook. It's kind of run by all the people that mint their NFTs on there, which is what's really great about it. But it's also kind of every man for themselves. Yes, definitely check out the Hackathon site. So it was pretty much every community organized. So the community got together and said, okay, how do we want to improve this platform? And they got together and made these changes. So it's pretty phenomenal. But
and we organized it in 1 week. Just wanted to say that.
Yeah, it was
from
like
Friday to Friday, 1 week to organize a hackathon.
Yeah,
Wow.
Micol and Diane, it was pretty freaking amazing what you guys did. So one of the things would be awesome to like be able to purchase Tez with a credit card, because I know it's going to be really hard to get people to purchase this coin, because that's like a huge hurdle to have people like download the wallet and then get the coins and then, you know, I mean, I went through this process just recently and it you know, I gotta say, it wasn't me a minute to figure it out. And also, there's also another wallet called I don't know if I have it in I don't think I have it. There's what is it? The Q wallet? How do you pronounce that, Diane? The other wallet?
I don't know, I'm using Temple.
I use Temple. Yeah, there's another wallet. Anyway, if you go in the frequently asked questions on Hicket Nook, there's also like a whole bunch of help in there. So anyway, get the coin. It supports iLearn and also it's also it's going to support Hicket Nook, iLearn and the charity, environmental charity there. So it's a good cause. You'll get this cool coin, one of a kind. Anyway, I think I need to wrap it up. So thanks everybody for being here. We had fun. I hope you guys had fun. I hope everybody learned something about art and NFTs. And anything else? Did I forget anything?
I think it's fine. Thanks a lot for joining and inviting.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks everybody.
Thanks to this great panel. I'm going to take it from here and wrap us up. So the main event has finished. We're going to stick around for a few minutes to say thank you to our presenters, but the live stream will now close. Tony Cube Studios and the YouTube audience. Go ahead and end.